Excuse me for this awful mess in the back, but I couldn't find anywhere that had natural lighting. But this video is basically going to show you a completely different side to competing that probably you've not seen before or you don't see very often. There's not just training, it's not just food, there's so much more to competing than you would probably think, and it's very, very true when people say that competing can take over your life. This is basically going to be a run through of everything else that I'm doing during the week while I'm working and all that malarkey, what I'm doing to make sure that I bring the best package that I can. First one, waxing. Now, as you can tell, I have very, very dark hair, so hair is just the most annoying thing ever to me. But one of the key criteria in the PCA is skin tone and skin condition. Or you might be wondering why I'm looking to do more waxing. Probably the reason being, the better you can prep your skin, the better the tan's going to look, and the better your conditioning is going to look as well. I'm feeling like a plucked chicken and getting pretty much everything waxed, and it's getting a little bit difficult with logistics because my forearms aren't growing the same rate as my legs and everything like that, but I'm making sure that everything is being waxed maybe a few weeks, every month, up until the show, to make sure that my skin looks good, because as probably a lot of girls, my hair growth can get a little bit crazy sometimes. So that's one thing that I'm doing, I'm having to schedule in. Relating to that, number 2 is body scrubbing. My document that I got from Showtime when I secured my deposit was I've got to prep my skin, as I've already said. So I'm body scrubbing myself 2 to 3 times a week, all over my body. A very, very nice friend of mine brought me at Christmas a cup of coffee face and body mask. Now this smells amazing. It's quite strong, but I'm using this at the moment to go all over my body, and it's an absolute nightmare to get off sometimes, but that is what I'm using at the moment. And on top of that, I've got to use a pH balance shower gel. At the moment I've only got this small little Nivea shower gel that I just had from Christmas as well, but I'm going to be buying some pH balance, like something like Simple, Sanex, whatever they're called. So I'm going to be buying a massive tub of that to apply just all over my body, not even when I'm scrubbing, just when I'm in the shower anyway, just because the pH balance is really important, because you don't want anything which is too maybe acidic or alkaline, because it affects the tan. I don't know the logistics of it, but yeah, it can affect the tan, so I need to make sure that everything I'm applying to my body isn't too fragranty, hasn't got too many chemicals, or not chemicals really, just not too many added things that we don't really need in there. On top of that, obviously I've been using this horrible rough thing on my body, and every single time I scrub, I make sure that I'm applying moisturizer all over my body. So what I've been using at the moment is my boyfriend's Aqueous cream, which, to be fair, is probably the best thing that I could use. Oh, I've just spilt it everywhere, I don't know if you can see that. Lovely. So yeah, I'm using this at the moment, and it's probably the best thing that I can use, because it's pretty much the basic. It's the basic moisturizer, hasn't got any fragrance in, hasn't got anything nasty. Yeah, it's probably that I'm actually going to keep using this, but I may buy an E45 cream as well. I'm going to apply this to my arm. Oh my god, so much came out of that jar. So yeah, I just got my forearms waxed today, and oh my god, they feel amazing. The other thing that I'm doing about 4 times a week at the moment is my posing. Close to the show, I'll probably need to be doing it every single day. But at the moment my back is still getting used to the movements, because there's a lot of twists, and to be fair, after my first posing session it really, really hurts my left side of my back, because I do a lot of poses like this. You can't really see, but I can rotate myself this way. My back was killing. So I'm doing that about 4 times a week at the moment. My cardio is basically 45 minutes, 6 times a week. And that seems like quite a lot, and when I first got that through from my coach I was a little bit concerned, but I'm quite I can see why she's doing it. It's making sure my expenditure is high so the food can stay high. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you kind of how I'm keeping organised, because this is a lot of things on top of everything else that I do in my life. It's a lot of things I kind of think about on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to show you exactly how I'm keeping on track of food, of all these things that I've mentioned, and so on and so forth. Also, can we just take a moment to the extent that I went to make sure we had nice lighting, people? This is what I'm using at the moment to make sure I stay on track and I don't miss anything out in my days. As you can see, I've got all my food here, and it's on Friday all the way to Thursday. Friday because it's my check-in day, and if I like to switch my meals up around sometimes, so I'll just tick it as I go. I've got my training day here as well, and I've basically got my food groups and where exactly I buy them because they're cheapest at those certain grocery stores. And then I've got just a general to-do list that I need to do, so I kind of don't get, so everything doesn't get on top of me basically. So I've got my cardio, posing, washing. I know that sounds silly, but if I don't keep on top of it, it just keeps piling up. Mobility, foam rolling, and food checking as well. I try and do kind of space that out just because things can kind of run out as and when. So yeah, that's what I'm using at the moment, and it's really helping me, because if not I would just keep forgetting what I'm doing. So yeah, and still, as you can see, I still need to get my cardio in. I'm going to do some posing today as well. I've got my posing class on Tuesday, so yeah, I should be able to hit all my numbers pretty well. Just before I head to the gym, I'm going to have myself a little coffee. Luckily, my mum's partner is in Switzerland, so we get really nice Swiss coffee. Now, in terms of caffeine and pre-workout and things like that, I would love to buy, you know, the fancy pre-workouts, but in terms of trying to save costs with the prep, coffee's just as good. You know, if you can treat yourself, you got some money spare, then yeah, buy some BCAAs with some caffeine or pre-workout or anything like that. But I just find a coffee works just as well. And in terms of caffeine supplementation, we normally have a decaf, which is in here, which I use all the time, just because I love the taste of coffee, but I don't like, you get to the point where you have so many coffees in a day that you just, it just doesn't really work well with me. My head starts to buzz, it's not a very nice feeling. So I save my caffeine until just before my gym session, or if I'm really feeling tired, I'll have a coffee with some caffeine in. But I'm really trying to limit how much caffeine I'm having throughout my day, just because it can make me feel a little bit jittery, and it's good for my sleeping as well. So you're next to me in the gym. As I said last time, I'm not going to film absolutely everything just because it's really hard. And you've seen how much I have to get through, so to have to set up my camera all the time, it's a little bit long. But I'll take you with me my next full body workout, just little snippets, and show you guys kind of what I'm training and what I'm doing. So I'll see you in the gym. Also, while it's in my mind, the topic of sweeteners. Now I'm 11 weeks out. I've technically been prepping, well, kind of on a little cut since January, so my cravings are starting to creep in a little bit. So obviously I'm having some sort of sweetener now. I'm having stevia, just because in terms of kind of the chemicals that they use and bits like that, it's normally the better option. So stevia is a bit more expensive, but I would recommend using a stevia based sweetener. I'm really trying to limit the amount of sweetener that I use as well, purely because yes, it's a lot more healthier than having sugar. However, if you look, so this is 75 gram jar, and then in 100 grams you've got 370 calories, which is 92 grams of carbs. Now I know that sounds really silly to take kind of into account for, but say you go through this fairly quickly, that's an extra 300 calories that you've not actually accounted for. And say you're having sugar-free jellies, sugar-free sweets and bits like that, like, you've got to remember they are still calories. Now I'm not anal about this. I go through this probably in about a month, something like that. But it's just to be aware, guys, that just because something's sugar-free, it doesn't mean that it's not calorie free either, and you might have to be accountable for that, or let your coach know that you're having X amount of sweetener or sugar-free things throughout your week. Try and limit how much sweetener that I'm generally using throughout the day. In terms of sugar-free jelly, I've only just started using that. I've been trying to hold back as much as I can, but I've been having I went through one sachet, which is like 4 servings, and I went through that in like 3 days, and that was a little bit longer. So it sounds really anal, and I know it does, but if you are prepping, then you do need to be aware of the extra kind of calories that you are intaking. Especially as well, I can show you things like these lovely Lucozades. They're great, you know, they're 20 calories per bottle, but say for example you're having sweetener and then you're having sugar-free jelly and then you're having your Lucozade, that could potentially be an extra 100 calories in your day. So it's spacing them out and knowing when you kind of need that craving. So for example, for me, I tend to be okay. It's only in the evenings that I start to kind of get a little bit of a craving. So I'll help myself with some sugar-free jelly, or have a nice sweet cup of tea with some sweetener. So yeah, it's just being mindful, and I'm going to put a little bit of sweetener in my coffee and a little bit of almond milk, but obviously not too much.